This is the new, easiest, most compact and fastest automatic media farm in all of hexcasting using the power of the add-on Hexal, with rates of 2,500 quenched allay shards per hour, translating to 15,000 amethyst per hour, contained within a 4x4x4 block cube with almost zero player interaction. This farm is perfect for the ambitious hexcaster who want to max out their explosion size and minimize their downtime. Now, to build this farm, you'll need these materials, notably 2 empty impetuses and 1 shulker box. That means you need end progression. You also need just loads of from random block you're okay with despawning over time for the Hopper Club. Now, to set up the farm, you'll need these materials, okay? You don't necessarily need Greater Teleport, but it'll make your life a lot easier. I would definitely recommend it, but you don't need it. You'll also need a couple of villagers, Apprentice Cleric and Apprentice Cartographer for the Cleric Impetus and the Moat Nexus specifically, and just 2 allays. Obviously one's going to work and you breed them, that's all fine. Now, this farm requires a bound Cleric Impetus. That means this farm isn't going to work if you're offline or if you're in a different dimension, even if it's chunk loaded. So if this thing's in the end and I'm in the nether, not going to work. If it's in the overworld, I'm in the nether, not going to work. It also means that you're going to be vulnerable to hijacking. This thing is bound to you wherever you are in the world. So if somebody were to break the farm around it and set up some malicious thing to run while you're not there, there's not much you can do about that. So you're probably going to want to keep this thing hidden. Also, this is just one dispenser full of these items here. That means that this is going to run for a max of 48 hours. If you want to extend that, just whack some hoppers on here, add a chest on, whatever you want. It's not really a big deal, but if you think that 2 days is too short, go ham. Now, for this farm, you're going to need this focus here, which you can see this spell instruction there is quite long. There's not too much I can do to help you with that, but it is on the forums listed as well as possible and as loosely ambiguous as possible. It's also on the Discord if that's something you prefer, but I would recommend the forums over anything else. One last thing to note, I had some complaints over the last one. The rate that you get on this farm is going to be dependent on your server tick rate. If you're running at half speed, you're going to get half rates. There's really not much I can do about that. Now, for the build of the farm, I'll assume you've got just a bit of media available. You don't need much, but I've got a media cube just to make things nicer, and I've also got scrying lens to make things nicer, big size. Now, let's get started. For this, I'm going to go in survival so you can see what I use and where. So just go ahead and take all of the materials from your materials chest. One thing to note, this farm is directional. It means it matters which direction you build it in. So, just place your initial stone here, anywhere you want. From there, you're going to place your redstone torch to the south of that, okay? Over here. And then place 1 glass to the east of that. Now that's your basis. You don't need to worry about where you're placing from there. Now, just pop your pressure plate down here. Place a dropper here. You can get an observer over here. And droppers here and here. From here, you can place down a hopper here. And your jukebox here. Put buttons there, there, and there. Perfect. Now, you'll need a temporary block here to be able to put down the glass here, and block of amethyst here. After that, you can get rid of this. Now you're free to pop down the lava, be careful not to walk into it. And you can pop down the rest of the glass. A very precise placement there. And there. There you go. Now pop 1 more here. Now, for the impetus, just pop 1 here. Shulker box here. Other one here. You can pop your item frame down here, and your disc here. The rest of the cobblestone that you've got spare, just pop into this dropper, and the final hopper, just feed it into that impetus, okay? Now, with your remaining slates, you'll write them and place them down, and it'll do the whole spell circle thingamajig, but to save you the hassle, I've got my assistant over here to place them down for me. So just go around like this. You go boom, 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 like that. Boom, boom, boom. Now, I would like to draw attention. This one here is not Scribe's Reflection, not Scribe's Gambit. This is Chronicler's Reflection, okay? That is to read from this here and here. Check the forums. There's loads of ones like this, okay? Or the Discord, whatever you wish. Just make sure you're not getting any of these mixed up, okay? It's a very common issue, okay? Okay. Now, from there, we'll get to flaying this, because as you see, this is not an amethyst block, this is not a shulker box, and this is not an empty impetus. So we're going to need to do some flaying using extra media you've got. So I will save some of these just to save me from writing them all out again, but you want to get whatever guy you're looking at. And then add allays purification. So that will give me my cartographer, which is for the moat nexus. Then I'll get the block I'm looking at. Once more, I'm going to save the instructions so I don't have to do them every time. Do, like that. Put copy down here and run them. Now I've got my entity and my vector. I'm free to use flay mind, which I've got in my setup chest. So let's take that and flay. And execute. And we've got our moat nexus, and this guy no longer has a brain. Then we just repeat the same steps. So I'll just copy the top two. We can grab the bottom empty impetus here. Remember the bottom one, not the top one. So we'll grab that like that, and then we can just swap that around and grab the cleric we're flaying into it like this. Swap that around again, and we are once more free to use flame mind to get ourselves a cleric impetus like that. And the final thing is that this needs to be quenched allay for the farm to be able to start. So we'll grab one of our friends down here. Oh, well, I guess we'll grab this first like this. Swap that around. Grab our friend like this. Swap that around. And flay their mind like this. Now, we've got the farm set up as it needs to be. Now, once you've done that, you can take your currently unwritten focus. This is the dangerous bit. You are going to write your true name onto it and bind that impetus to you. Okay? That is all the implications that I said before. You may want to hide this thing. That's all up to you. Maybe on a Petra where you trust everybody. I can't say I am. So, now take 3.5 stacks. That is 4.5. 3.5 stacks of... It wasn't Amaguba. 3.5 stacks of amethyst shards. Pop that in there. And now here's a bit of the long bit. You're going to need to write the whole spell. Okay? You'll want to write it onto this focus. You might want to split it up into multiple parts, save it as you go, that sort of thing. But luckily for me, I have got a friend who has written it out for me. Saves us time here. It's very useful. Thank you very much. Now, I'm just going to copy it from them and pop it down onto this focus. Okay, like that. Now, once you've got that whole spell, you might want to make a copy of it or something. You know, it's not fun to write that all out, and there's probably going to be mistakes. Just, again, refer to the forums. There's a lot of very specific patterns in here. You can't even see all of it from the video. Again, you're going to need to look at the forums or the Discord. It's up to you. So, once you've done that, you're going to need to fill this moat nexus with the starting items. The starting items being the rest of these. To do this, it's going to be more convenient if you bind it as your permanent nexus, but if for whatever reason you can't, feel free to do this all in one cast and just do it temporarily. But I'll just do it binding to make it easier to see here. So I bound that as my permanent nexus. So I'm going to come over here, say, and I'm just going to get the reference of all of them and mediafy all of them. It'll just take a second. So pop down all the amethyst, pop down the block of amethyst, and pop down the shard. Let's say search in a radius of 2 is adequate. And let's take an item distillation and motify all that. And add. Wonderful. Now, from here, they do need to be in a specific order, okay? Amethyst shards need to be on top, then block of amethyst, then shard of quenched allay at the bottom. So for me, I just need to do a rotation 2, or rotation 1 gambit, like this. Bam, bam, bam. Wonderful. Now, take the whole spell that you have in this focus, like this. Pull it up. This is what you're going to be putting into a list. So this is a length 4 list. Let's Flox Gambit that and write it into the focus. And that is that. That is your focus written. I'll just grab some blocks to pillar up here. You just pop that into there. Now, you're going to want to move your remaining ally with a mind. Remember, if one of them's been flayed, your other one with a mind, it's time for them to go into the machine. So, to do that, let's just grab the target position first off. like this. Let's copy that over. I'm just going to pick a block and then go one behind that block, which is going to be simplest if I do it like this, I think. That there. Got the target block. Let's grab the target allay, like this. Bam, bam, like that. And then the rest of this, I suppose there's no harm in doing it in one thing. The rest of this, since it's not going to be moving, we're free to just take its position, take the difference vector, and then run greater teleport. Again, you don't have to have greater teleport, you just need to get it into that center block there, but it's going to be a lot easier with greater teleport, as you can see. It's just going to live in there now. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, you can start the breeding process now. Just chuck one item in there, pop it in there, and assuming your allay isn't on breed delay, you can just pick that up and let it reactivate. And you can see, there you are. You've got another allay. Now, that is most of the work done. You will want to leave this farm, the magic value, 15 minutes, okay? At that point, you will have 16 allays, okay? At that point, you're going to need to move them about to make sure they don't die from cramming too early, because the final system you're looking for, as you can see over here, is 4 different corners, okay? You've got to get them split up into 4 corners. Now, after 15 minutes, your situation is going to be something like this, okay? Here you can see there's 16 crammed into that one location. If I turn on hitboxes, there's a lot of these, maybe. Something like that. Once you're in this situation, you just gotta grab one of them and push them about. Now, this is more of a art, less of a science. So really, anything you can choose, you can decide to do whatever to try and get them into their 4 corners. I usually just impulse them about. Sometimes it works quite well, sometimes it doesn't. I guess we'll see. Let's see how it turns out today. So, say I get just one of those allays, I'll take my look vector, those over here, and I'll impulse. Oh, look at that. It didn't work. I'll leave that as an exercise to the reader, let's say. I'll just pop in this corner and push them about a bit. Encourage them into their corners. I'm going to be honest, it's one of my least favorite parts of the farm, but I'm sure it's not too much trouble for you people. There we are. Now, once it's like that, you can, well, I temporarily stop this farm to prevent it from doing anything while you're waiting, but it will start doing its thing once again whenever it feels like it. And yeah, that is pretty much it. You should see results in somewhere between 15 and 25 minutes, depending on how well you did this split. If you did the split really badly, you might run out of Amethyst. If you do, just grab the Amethyst reference in the Moat Nexus or from here and put some more in. That's fine. Do be wary. If you pick this up too early, as I did, you'll see they just start holding Amethyst. That just means they've wasted Amethyst a bit. It's unfortunate. It's not that big a deal. It just means that you might need to put some more in, or there's enough in there already. You'll have to see. Again, more of an art, less of a science. Now, for the big bit, how do you actually get your results out of this? So, whatever moat you've bound to, I've still bound to that one over there. I'll do it like this. So, all you need to do is get your Quenched allay reference and take as much out as you want, but you always have to leave 1, okay? Never take out the full amount. You need to leave at least 1 in there. But if I were bound to that one and it had 1 million in, I can take up to 999,999, no issue. And again, this farm is pretty fast, so I would be surprised if you had issues. If you do have issues, you can build multiple of them. I just wouldn't recommend it. These are 96 entities. You don't think you'll make your server admins very happy if you keep building these. And additionally, the principle of this farm, there's nothing special about 96. You can make it into a massive cube if you wanted. It'll be more efficient, but it would also be much more laggy. And I think that's pretty much all. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a lot of success using this farm. And if you have any questions or queries, I'm on Discord at CameronDNT. Feel free to shoot me a message or join the Discord and ask for help. But again, if you're just looking for the foci, there should be enough information on the forums for that. Thank you, and goodbye.